Did you know that about 70% of successful entrepreneurs experienced multiple failures before hitting it big? That's right. Failure isn't just common, it's often a stepping stone to success. Yet, many people fear failure, seeing it as something to avoid at all costs. But what if I told you that wealthy families have a completely different view? They see failure as a powerful teacher, an essential part of growing up. In this video, we'll explore how the rich raise their kids to embrace failure rather than run from it. They teach their children that setbacks are not the end but rather an opportunity to learn and grow. You'll discover unique strategies they use, from encouraging controlled risks to creating a culture of feedback and self-reflection. Join me as we dive deep into the lessons that wealthier families instill in their children about failure. You'll learn how these lessons can not only prepare kids for the challenges of life but also equip them with the tools to succeed. Whether you're a parent or someone looking to improve your mindset, these insights could change the way you view failure forever. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Failing Forward. Why rich families embrace setbacks in wealthy families. Failure isn't feared, it's expected. While most people shy away from mistakes, the rich often treat failure as part of the learning process. They understand that avoiding failure also means avoiding growth. A study by Harvard Business Review found that failure is 1.5 times more likely to spark creative solutions than success. That's why many rich parents actively encourage their kids to take risks. Instead of shielding their children from setbacks, they create environments where they can fail safely. Take Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, for example. She grew up with a father who asked her and her brother one question every night: "What did you fail at today?" This reframed failure as something to celebrate, not something to avoid. It's no surprise that Blakely attributes her billion-dollar success to learning from her early failures. Wealthy families know that the ability to fail forward, to learn and adapt from setbacks, is a cornerstone of success. They also encourage their kids to view failure as temporary. The rich are often taught that failure is simply feedback, a way to gather data about what doesn't work. This mindset shifts the focus from feeling defeated to feeling empowered. Kids are trained to approach failure with curiosity, not fear. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently, as Henry Ford famously said. This thinking gives wealthy kids the confidence to keep pushing boundaries. Chapter 2. The Art of Rebounding. Building resilience from childhood. Resilience isn't just about grit, it's about knowing how to bounce back quickly. One key strategy rich families use is teaching their kids how to handle failure emotionally and mentally. While many parents might coddle their kids to protect them, wealthy parents often take the opposite approach. They expose their children to small doses of failure early on. This helps build resilience, like muscles that get stronger when they're challenged. Studies show that children who experience controlled failures early in life develop stronger problem-solving skills. The American Psychological Association found that children who were taught resilience were more likely to succeed long-term, even after experiencing setbacks. This is because resilience helps them handle stress better, allowing them to focus on solutions rather than problems. Wealthy parents tap into this by creating low-stakes environments where kids can fail without catastrophic consequences. Take Richard Branson's mother, for example. She once left him miles from home and told him to find his way back at just 5 years old. She wanted him to learn independence and problem-solving, crucial skills for rebounding from failure. Though extreme, this example highlights how some wealthy parents are willing to take big risks in raising their kids with resilience. They also instill the belief that failure doesn't define them. Instead, they see setbacks as temporary and external. In her book Grit, Angela Duckworth explains how perseverance, more than talent, predicts success. Kids in wealthy families are taught early on that their effort, and not their innate ability, matters most in overcoming failure. The goal is not just to get back up but to come back stronger. Chapter 3. Controlled Risk. The elite strategy of calculated failure. One of the most unique ways the rich teach their kids about failure is by introducing them to controlled risks. This means encouraging their children to take on challenges where failure is likely but where the stakes are low enough that the consequences are manageable. They might give their kids a small amount of money to invest in the stock market, or assign them real-world projects where they can experiment and potentially fail. It's about teaching kids the value of risk management. According to research by the Global Wealth Report, wealthy individuals are more likely to invest in high-risk, high-reward ventures because they're accustomed to taking calculated risks. By allowing their kids to experience controlled failure, they're training them to assess risks in a balanced way. They learn to ask questions like, "Is this worth the risk?" And, "What's the worst that could happen?" Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, often talks about the importance of being willing to fail big. He once said, "If you're going to take bold bets, they're going to be experiments. And if they're experiments, you don't know ahead of time if they're going to work." Wealthy families embrace this mindset, encouraging their kids to see failure as a natural part of experimenting and innovating. Controlled failure also teaches kids how to lose, and lose well. When they fail in small, controlled ways, they learn that losing doesn't have to be devastating. Instead, it becomes an opportunity to review what went wrong and make better decisions in the future. This is a core difference between the wealthy mindset and the average one. Many families fear failure, but the rich actively seek it out as part of the learning process. In a study published by Psychological Science, researchers found that individuals who experienced controlled, early life adversity were better equipped to handle challenges later in life. Wealthy families harness this by creating opportunities for their children to fail, whether through entrepreneurial projects, sports, or investments. In doing so, they build resilience, critical thinking, and the ability to recover from failure with minimal emotional damage. If you're finding these strategies interesting, make sure to subscribe for more insights on how the wealthy think and live. Chapter 4. Failing on Purpose. Lessons from Entrepreneurial Parenting. One surprising strategy used by wealthy families is encouraging their kids to fail on purpose. This might sound strange, but it's actually rooted in a very deliberate approach. The idea is to push kids into challenging situations where failure is not only possible but likely. Why? Because it teaches them to embrace discomfort and learn through trial and error. Entrepreneurial parents understand that the best way to build problem-solving skills is through hands-on experience. By introducing kids to entrepreneurship early on, whether it's starting a lemonade stand, selling items online, or launching a small project, they're taught to take risks. It's not about succeeding at first but learning from the process. According to a report by Junior Achievement, teens who engage in entrepreneurial activities are 2.5 times more likely to develop resilience and problem-solving skills. In these environments, failure is expected and even celebrated because it pushes kids out of their comfort zones. Mark Cuban, a billionaire entrepreneur, said that the best teacher is failure. He noted that his early business failures taught him more than any of his successes. Wealthy families pass this same mentality down to their kids, teaching them that early failures are just stepping stones. By failing on purpose, kids learn to view each setback as a learning experience, helping them refine their ideas and strategies over time. These families understand that controlled entrepreneurial failure not only builds resilience but also fosters creativity. By letting kids fail, they're allowing them to think outside the box and develop solutions to complex problems. And in today's fast-changing world, creativity and adaptability are more important than ever. A study from LinkedIn listed creativity as the most important soft skill in 2020, a quality that's often developed through facing failures head-on. Chapter 5. Feedback Loops. Why criticism is a gift in wealthy families. In many families, criticism can be a sensitive topic. But in wealthy households, criticism is treated as a gift. Constructive feedback is seen as a powerful tool for improvement, not something to take personally. Wealthy parents often train their kids to actively seek feedback and use it to their advantage. The goal is to remove the emotional sting of criticism and instead focus on the valuable insights it provides. This idea of feedback as a tool is rooted in business and entrepreneurship. Successful companies use feedback loops to constantly improve their products and services. Similarly, wealthy families use this concept to help their children improve and learn from their failures. For example, a child might be encouraged to debrief after a project or activity to understand what went wrong, what could be improved, and what they did well. It's about being analytical, not emotional. In fact, research shows that feedback-driven environments lead to higher success rates. A study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that individuals who received consistent, constructive feedback were 33% more likely to succeed in their goals. This principle is often used in elite education systems, where wealthy families send their kids to schools that prioritize self-assessment and feedback, helping them learn from failure. Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, highlights this in his book Principles. He emphasizes the importance of creating a radically transparent environment where feedback is not only accepted but expected. His own company has a culture where employees are encouraged to critique each other constructively. Dalio believes that the ability to accept and act on feedback is one of the main drivers of personal and professional success. Wealthy parents often follow this philosophy with their children, teaching them that criticism, when given in the right way, is a tool for growth. If you enjoyed these insights and want to learn more about how the wealthy think and act, don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more to discover in the journey of understanding wealth and success.